Hello, everybody. Chris Schooker with Scott Johannes. We are with Digital Horizons, and we want to give you a behind-the-scenes walkthrough of an installation that we finished up a bit ago. This is actually in a local school. And while we did do some other work in here, particularly with their audio for, I think this is a choir room.
It's a choir room, yeah.
Yep. So we, along with two other rooms, we installed some Electro Voice speakers and some good amplifiers for audio playback. In this video, we're just installing a projection system, right?
Yep.
So I think we started recording a little bit into the install, so we've already got something started in the wall there, right?
Yeah, we had the bracket. I'm up on the lift back there trying to get the bracket mounted, and actually the bracket's been mounted.
Bracket's up, yep.
Yeah, we got the projector up, and we were just kind of getting that lined up to see where our borders are, where we can put the screen and still make everything work properly.
Now we're using kind of I think a mount that wasn't created for this, but they found that it worked well for this type of scenario. But it's actually a short throw projection mount, but the projector rotates around and it's rated for the weight, and now they market it as a short and long throw projector mount. But initially, I think they intended on it just being short throw.
Right. I mean, it's funny because it's a standard mount.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you look at it and it's made for pretty much any use.
Right.
You can hang off a wall. It's got an adjustable depth to it where you can bring the projector out away from the wall more, which that's great because like this is a pretty big projector. So this is a dual lamp projector. So.
Was this a dual lamp?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a 7,000.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, 7,000 lumen. So electrician had already had the outlet in the back up there.
And I think it's a hallway on the other side, right?
It is, yeah.
And so with the projector up there, you can't just plug your device into the projector, right? So I think they use a wireless media device in here. Is that something that's connected in this room?
No, actually, this one we pulled lines up and over.
We did an extender?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an HDMI extender on that projector, and that actually went out into the hallway around behind us in this image and back through the ceilings of these
on the left-hand side there. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how these buildings are made sometimes.
Right. Well, but it's not really practical to go up and over the ceiling and down.
No,
that could have been done, but there was a better path, even though that was convoluted.
Yeah. It was a longer wire pull, but it was way easier considering all the stuff that would have had to be moved.
Yep. Now for this system, both this projection system and the speakers, there's a rack in one of these offices, right?
Correct. Yeah, that office that's open there.
So wall-mounted, hinged rack, up and out of the way.
Yep.
So there's an HDMI connection for them to use?
Yep. They've got a connection on the wall right behind where the lift is sitting right now.
Okay.
That they can plug their laptop into. Inside the rack, there's actually a wireless display device that they provided that they use everywhere.
Okay. We got a switcher in there.
And then there's a switcher. There's an audio extractor, so whatever they're feeding to the projector can get fed into the speakers.
That's the tough part of working with HDMI is
sometimes
amplifiers they only want an analog signal. Right. And if you have a laptop with HDMI out, which will provide audio and video out of the HDMI, you can't just plug that into the amplifier.
Right.
So we have that going through a series of black boxes, basically.
Right.
Video goes to the projector.
Converters, adapters, whatever we need to do.
And then the audio goes to the amplifier.
Yep.
And then, so prior to the screen going up, which is mounted there, we had something on the wall, right?
Yeah, we ended up, this is cement wall, so we ended up putting extension pieces in behind spacers, and then there was just a 2x6.
Okay. That
goes up on the wall, which we painted white, so if you saw it from whatever angle, it would match the screen case, which is also white.
Yep.
They have 2-inch thick acoustic panels up there, so you can't just smash the projection screen against the panel.
Right.
You have to have it spaced out enough.
Well, we're not going to do that. There might be other companies that,
somebody might do that. We're not going to do that, but you've got to make sure it clears everything too. And I think when you see that screen go up, there's a couple boxes that are below that series of vents that's there too.
Yep.
So it's sometimes it's a little tricky. You have to shift it out, make sure it clears everything.
Yep. This is a good. I was going to point out that this is a specific type of screen fabric.
Yeah, this is a light reflecting or ambient light rejecting fabric. So
and that's the color.
From this angle, when that projection screen is lit up by the projector, it may not look uniform and like clear, but if you're actually sitting in the seats looking at the screen, it's bright. It's very vivid. It's very, very clean.
So the way this fabric works, or the paint that's applied to it, is it will reflect to the audience the light that hits it on axis to the screen, so from the projector. But the light above it, in particular, those lights that you see directly above it, it will actually reject that light, not completely, but a lot of it.
A lot of it is.
So they can, unlike normal projection systems, they can actually use this with the lights on, and the image is still far more usable than a standard projection screen.
Yeah, you can even see when...
Yeah, it's viewable.
When the blue is there, you don't see like these waves of the light reflecting off. It's just blue.
Yep.
So I mean, it does a good job. It's a nice screen that daylight makes.
There's an increased cost for that, but by opening up the amount that you can use the projection system, or not having to turn lights off, which if you're in a room full of kids,
you don't want
the lights on.
Yeah.
So now they get the projection system. They get it out of the way, because before they had a short throw projector and it just kind of limped, and it wasn't right. Yeah. It limited the size, and it was messy. So this is kind of best of both worlds. They get a big picture, they get a bright image, they can put it away when they don't want it. It's out of the way. They can go full whiteboard. And then you guys installed it in a way where, in conjunction with feedback from the teacher, that the whiteboard is still usable while the screen is.
They felt that they didn't want to get it too much higher than that, because of the kids in the front row would be looking up too high.
Yep.
So it was one of those things. You have to kind of make the best of a bad situation. Like, it would have been great to move it up that 12 inches and be just underneath the access point of the clean row up there, and it would have been nothing blocking the whiteboard. But they just didn't want it that much higher.
Right.
Which that's their call.
Because in the back row it's fine.
Oh yeah.
But the front row,
you're starting to look up.
Right. And this is a concept that we get into a lot, mostly in home theaters, because if you have 2 rows or 3 rows of seats, your concern is sight lines.
Right.
And so ideally you'd have the screen lower, but then it kills the whiteboard. And so, like Scott said, this is the combination that works for everybody.
Right.
As best as it can.
Yep.
I recognize that desktop.
Yep. Had that desktop for 9 years.
Long time, yeah. So we hope this video was entertaining and enjoyable. We hope it gave you some insight if you're tackling something like this, and it answers some questions for you. That's the goal of this video. If it creates questions for you and you find yourself in need of some help, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll probably have some information down in the description, and we'd love to hear from you. So until the next one, we hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.